Uncle Jack, you want to do Leilun Nishmat? What's the name? Let's dedicate our Torah learning, Leilun Nishmat. Mazal Tov Bat Esther. Oh, Joey, making my coffee. And Moshe Ben Victoria. And all the other souls that are in Shemayim, they should have elevation. Okay, gentlemen, you ready? Oh, the food's over there. You want to make plates real quick? Want to get food? Why don't we bring it over here? Let's put it over here on the table.
No, maybe they can go and
okay.
Grab food and come down.
Okay, Yellow, let's start. The first Mishnah, which I highlighted in yellow, this is the 10th Perek of Masechet Pesachim. This Perek is all about the Leil Seder, the Seder night. And so let's do this Mishnah on page 114, Kuf Yod Daled, Amud Aleph. And the Mishnah says as follows: Mazgul lo kos rishon, which means this is basically the beginning of the Seder, right? Kadesh. What's the first thing you do in the Seder? Kadesh, Kiddush. So you need the first cup of wine. Mazgul lo kos rishon. Okay, this is how you do it. The Mishnah says, pour for the guy the first cup. And so hold on. First off, right off the bat, it doesn't say mozgin kos rishon. We pour. It says mazgul lo. Pour for him the first cup. Interesting usage of the words. And so the Ramah says, Ramesh Isserlis, where do we get this from? So Ramesh Isserlis, Ramah says that maybe it means you pour for him literally, which means you shouldn't pour for yourself. Where does it come from, this custom? So the Ramah writes this, not Manash Haru, it's the Ramah. The Ramah writes, the Baal Abayit should not pour his own wine, because you're supposed to be free. Interesting. It comes from this word, mazgul lo. They pour for him.
Only the one who's making this.
It's talking about the Baal Abayit.
Only.
Yeah. And now some people have the custom that no one pours for each other, but if you want to know where this custom started, it's probably in this usage of the word. No one pours for themselves, right?
Even on Shabbat, I think also.
No.
Yeah.
And so this is not a halakha. It's kosher if you pour your own wine. It's just a custom, and it comes from this word because it says you pour for him. Let's move forward. Mazgulo koseshon, they pour for him the first cup of wine. Now we already have mahloket. Beit Shammai omrim mevarech al hayom ve'achar kach mevarech al hayayin. Beit Shammai says, whoa, when we do kiddush, what's the order? We have two blessings. Should we do kiddush first or the borei pri, what's the word? Borei pri hagefen first. Which should go first? So Beit Shammai says, hey, let's do the kiddush first and borei pri hagefen second. Beit Hillel omrim mevarech al hayayin ve'achar kach mevarech al hayom says, no, Beit Hillel is what we do. We say gefen first and then we say the kiddush beracha. Let's see the Gemara. The Gemara says, Tanu Rabbanan, the rabbis taught us, there are many differences between Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel when it comes to the laws of a meal, and these are one of the mahloket. Beit Shammai says the kiddush goes first before the wine. Why? Two reasons. Because if not for the day, you wouldn't be drinking wine. If it wasn't a holiday, you're not going on a random Monday night take a glass of wine and a kiddush cup and drink wine. You're only drinking because it's a holiday. And so the holiday necessitates the gefen, and so the holiday comes first. Kiddush comes first before the yain. That's what Beit Shammai's first reason. Hayom gorem layayin shiavo. The day, the holiday, causes you to even need to drink wine. And the second reason for Beit Shammai, uchbad kiddush hayom. It's already been the holiday for an hour, 2 hours, whatever it's been before you start the Seder. It was already the holiday in Shul, or it was already the holiday. And you never did Kiddush on the wine, which means you don't need Kiddush to bring the holiday in. The holiday comes first with sundown. Setel Gavim, the holiday comes, and then Kiddush. So too in the Kiddush.
So how do you say Shabbat in this case? So we do Shabbat, we do Yom Kippur first.
Right. So maybe that's Beit Hillel. Maybe that's Beit Hillel. Beit Shammai might say the same thing for Shabbat. Okay? So two reasons for Beit Shammai. Number one, the only reason we're doing yain is because it's a holiday. So therefore the holiday, by the way, remember the Gemara Megillah we learned? When we had a mahloket, what should be the maftir? Rosh Chodesh or Hanukkah? Remember this? And we said the only reason you have that aliyah is because it's the holiday. So it should be for the holiday. The same line of thought. What caused you to be drinking wine? The holiday. So put the holiday first. Okay. And the second reason is the holiday comes first and then you do kiddush. So in the kiddush, follow the same pattern. Do the holiday first and then do kiddush. Bet Shammai. What is Bet Hillel's reasons? Well, Bet Hillel omrim mevarech al yain ve'achar kach mevarech al hayom. Why? Because if I didn't have wine, I wouldn't be doing kiddush. Very nice, it's a holiday. But if you don't have wine or bread, you can't do kiddush. And so your logic, Bet Shammai, doesn't make sense. Bet Hillel is saying to Bet Shammai, your logic doesn't make sense. You're only doing kiddush because it's the holiday, yeah? And if I didn't have wine, we wouldn't be doing kiddush. And so therefore, if not for the wine, what's more integral? I need the wine for kiddush, so the wine should go first. That's Bet Hillel's reason. Another reason for Bet Hillel. Second reason. Birkat Yain, this we all know. Tedira. Birkat Hayom ena tedira. Wine you drink way more often during the year, and you say gefen than you do kiddush. And therefore tadir, v'she'eno tadir kodim. Don't look. Who remembers from Hanukkah the source? Not you, Joey. You got it right the last time. Who remembers from Hanukkah the source? Remember we said this? What is the source? Tadir, v'she'eno tadir kodim. Remember this? From Zivahim. Remember Zivahim, Joey? Remember Zivahim? What was it? No, that's Ma'alim Bakodesh. That's Ma'alim. Tadir, V'she'eno tadir kodim. It's from Zivahim. It's from Zivahim. Which one? Yeah, we hear you. Which one was it? Where is it? I'm looking in the wrong one. By the way, if you look at the page, you have Rashi on top. It's Zivahim. You have Rashi on the top and Rashbam on the bottom. Rashbam is Rashi's grandson. So don't get mixed up. We have two commentaries on this Gemara. Three. Tosafot, Rashi's grandson. Rashi on top, Rashbam on the bottom. And so Rashbam, I think, brings it. And he says, hey, okay, fine. Now, so therefore Bet Hillel says, since you do Geffen more often during the year, the Geffen goes first. In Gemara? In the Gemara, we're quoting a Braita from them. They're in the Mishnah, Bet Shammai and Bet Hillel. It's a quote. Yeah, Tanura Banan. Those are the first words of the Gemara, Tanura Banan. The whole thing's a quote. Good question. Okay, now, so this is the end of it. Hilchata, the halakha, the Gemara says, Hilchata k'divrei Bet Hillel. The halakha follows Bet Hillel, that the gefen goes before the kiddush. We know the halakha follows Bet Hillel. Gemara says, "My dabar achid." Why did Bet Hillel have to give me two reasons? Wasn't the first reason enough? The first reason of Bet Hillel was because if not for the wine, you wouldn't be doing kiddush. And then he said, also tadir. What do you have to give me the second reason for? So he says, the Gemara says, because really Bet Shammai gave two reasons. So since Bet Shammai gave two reasons, I also want to give two reasons. We know the halakha like Bet Hillel, Gemara says. Well, tell me this. It's a rule in the Shas, halakha like Bet Hillel. The Hanafik bat kol. Because a bat kol came out and said, halakha like Bet Hillel. This is a Gemara in Bava Metzia, where Bet Shammai and Bet Hillel were arguing, and a bat kol came from Shammai. A heavenly voice came down and says, don't argue with Bet Hillel, halakha like Bet Hillel. And so we have an announcement from Shamayim that the halakha like Bet Hillel. So what do you got to tell me, halakha like Bet Hillel? I know this already. So two answers. One answer, kodim bat kol, that this mahloket Dr. Sofer was talking about, that was quoted even before the heavenly voice came down and said halakha like Bet Hillel. So that's why it says halakha like Bet Hillel. The second answer, or maybe even this mahloket was after the bat kol. However, Rabbi Yehoshua, it's following the opinion of Rabbi Yehoshua. The Amad and Mashkihin bat kol. Rabbi Yehoshua says we don't care what bat kol. We don't care. They can scream from the heavens from day until night. The Torah is love, but love shamayim. The Torah is not in heaven; it's down here. There's a gemara in. Well, Tosafot's going to bring the gemara, so I'll give it to you. I will preface it. There's a gemara that talks about the Gemara. Where is this Gemara? I think Erechin. It talks about another story of Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer, this is a famous story. You know it. When I say it, you're going to know it. Rabbi Eliezer was arguing with the Hakamim, and he said, the carob tree, the miracle of the carob tree happened. He said, the stream that's running out of the Beit Midrash, the stream should go backwards, should run the other way if I'm right. The stream ran the other way. He said, the walls of the Beit Midrash should fall down if I'm right. The walls of the Beit Midrash started falling down. So Rabbi Yehoshua gets up on his feet and says, hey, we don't do this. This is not the way we run our Beit Midrash. And so the Gemara says the walls stayed slanted forever in that building. It didn't go all the way back up because it's not respectful to Rabbi Eliezer, who said to go down. But it couldn't go all the way down because Rabbi Yehoshua said stop. So the walls were like this. And imagine they had a Beit Midrash with the walls like this from that day in the Beit Midrash. So
there's a river that flows
upstream. There you go. So thank you. So Rabbi Yehoshua, that's the person we just quoted. Rabbi Yehoshua holds we don't care about bat kol. And so therefore, I need a reason even without the bat kol. Huh? It was a litvat. The litvat said we don't care about the bat kol. The Sephardi cares about the bat kol, no doubt. Tosafot. Check out Tosafot. This is what I just told you. Tosafot de Amar, I highlighted it. The Amar emashkihin bebat kol. V'item, if you want to say, Mashena de kaim malan kebat kol de bet Hillel, v'lo kaim malan kebat kol de Rabbi Eliezer. What's the difference between Bet Hillel and Rabbi Eliezer? Bet Hillel, you said there was a bat kol that said halachas like Bet Hillel. Oh, thank you, Mr. Bat kol. Oh, thank you. And Rabbi Eliezer, there's a bat kol. Nobody cares about the bat kol. What's the difference? And so he says, really, Bet Hillel were the majority. There were more Hillel students than Shammai students. They didn't win because of the bat kol. They won because they were the majority. We go by the Rov. So then if they're on the majority, why did Bet Shammai, why did the bat kol have to even tell us? Let's go by the majority. Ela, the Bet Shammai mehadadeh tefer. The Bet Shammai was sharper. Bet Shammai students were sharp. They're very smart. They were much smarter. And so therefore you would say, even though they're the minority, maybe they should win the argument. And that's why the bat kol came out and said, Bet Hillel halakha like them. So the support says, we'll just that part of the support, that's it. The support says that the bat kol is not the reason we follow Bet Hillel. It just affirmed what we already knew, that the halakha should be like Bet Hillel. This is the first Mishnah of the Seder. So great, you poured the first cup. So imagine we're in the Seder now, Kadesh. We're just at Kadesh. What's next? Urhaz. Let's go to the next Mishnah. Next Mishnah. Hibiu lefanav matbel behazeret. They bring, let's read this literally the word. Mitbal? I'm not sure how they pronounce it there. Mitabel. None of us are right. Mitabel. Dip it. Because it's not a dip. It's not a noun. It's a verb. It's not hibiu lefanav, a dip. No, they're bringing before him, stop, mitabel, he dips and then he eats. And so the question is, that's how you read it. Hibiu lefanav, they brought before him it, something. We don't know what yet. And mitabel b'hazeret, and he dips it, whatever they brought in front of him. He dips the hazeret, which is the karpas. The hazeret is the vegetable that we eat. He dips it until he gets to the appetizer of the bread, which is the maror. Okay? It's a weird way of saying this in the Mishnah. The Mishnah is basically saying they bring before the Baal Habayit something, and then he dips the hazir, he dips the celery, he dips the whatever he dips for the karpas. Adam, you don't know the answer because you're looking. He dips it, and before the maror. Paperet pat is the maror. There's not, in other words, in English, there's a vegetable before the vegetable, maror, and then there's a vegetable before the maror. The question is, what did they bring before him? And so the question is a lot of questions. Number one, What did they bring? It doesn't say what they brought. Whoa, 1 second. What did they bring? What did you dip it in? It doesn't say what to dip it into.
There are 4 kinds of dipping.
And 3, what are you dipping? What is hazeret?
Oh.
So there's 3 questions. It's very weird Mishnah. We have to understand all these things.
But hazeret is after, no?
Hazeret is first. So let's see. First off, this is the karpas.
So you say
hazeret is the karpas, yes. The karpas is the vegetable before the vegetable. The Mishnah is using, so one thing that we're going to say 1,000,000 times for the next 4 weeks before Pesach, we look at the Seder 2020 vision based on how we do the Seder. The best way to go into this is to make believe you never saw a Seder in your life. What does the Gemara say I should do? Because you're going to just interpret everything in your way. Understand? Just be open to what the Gemara is saying. We're going to do what we do anyway, but be open to the real Seder, the way the Gemara is saying to do it. Understand what I'm saying? So we bring something to him. He dips something into something. Okay, let's see what they say. So let's see. Let's go and see first the Rashi. Rashi is on the top. I highlighted it for you. Hiviu lefanav Ezra. You see it? What does he say, Rashi? Hiviu lefanav on the top. Yerakot. Dr. Sofer, you see it? You guys see it down there? The Rashi, the top Rashi that I highlighted on the right column on the top.
Yeah.
Hibiyu lefanav yerakot. Rashi says they bring before him vegetables, not the ki'ara, not the plate, just the vegetable, not the whole seder plate. Rashi. Good. What does Rashbam say? Go down to Rashbam, all the way on the bottom. I highlighted also. Hibiyu lefanav hayerakot. They brought the vegetables. Ahad shiperech alayayin after kiddush. So it seems, according to Rashi and the Rashbam, they just literally brought you your karpas. Finished. Not the whole plate. Okay. Tosafot. Also highlighted for you on the left side. Hibiyu lefanav. Pirush Rashbam yirakot. Rashbam says they bring the vegetable for you. It doesn't make sense. It should have said they brought the hazeret to him. It just says Hibiyu lefanav. They bring it to him. Like it says later, they bring matzah. A normal way of talking is you say what you're bringing. And so therefore Tosafot says, I agree with Rabbeinu Hananel who says what? Hibiyu lefanav shulhan. They bring the whole shulhan to the guy. And so we have a mahloket. After Kadesh, when they do uruchatz, what do you bring to the Baal Bayit? The whole Pesach Seder table, or just each piece? Already we have mahloket. According to Rabbeinu Hananel, that's what we do. We bring the whole plate. According to Rashi and the Rashbam, just bring the yerek, just the vegetable. Good? What does Rambam say? We'll see in a minute. What does Shulchan Aruch say? We'll see in a minute. Let's do the next part. So we got that first part. What do we bring? Mahloket, what do we bring? Mitabil, Adam said that's how it's pronounced. Mitabil, you dip with the hazeret. What do you dip and what do you dip into? Let's see the next Rashi. Rashi, on top, mitabil b'hazeret, you dip it. Zeu lashon gemara. What does it mean to dip? The Gemara's lashon dip means eat. Like we said before, hashamash mitabel b'bnei mayam. Rashi says anytime it says dip, it just means eat. They used to dip everything. You ever see Persians eat now? Right? It's always dipping everything, right? Also, okay, Syrians, we dip the kibbeh into the tahina, yeah? Everything's dipping. Dipping means eating, Rashi says. And so all you do is you eat the hazeret. You eat the vegetable. Okay? That's the question. Where does it say karpas here? Therefore, I'll give you $10 if you show me where it says karpas. I'll make it $100. That's $100. $1,000. $1,000. Show me where it says karpas. Yeah, no. Where is this word karpas? Okay. While he's looking for his $1,000, let's continue. Rashi, next Rashi. Mitabil b'hazeret. Dip with the hazeret. Dip with this vegetable. Kilomar, is it to say that she says, in en sham yerek ahed, if you don't have any other veggies, mitabela hazeret beharoset ve'ochel. Whoa! I knew that would get him. Dip the hazeret into haroset. That's how we do karpas, no?
Mm.
No, it's not how we do karpas. She says karpas is dip it into the haroset.
I get better than that.
Okay? So far, so good. This is Rashi. You want to do a Rashi Seder, it's going to be a way different Seder than you have right now.
Better even.
It depends what type of haroset. Rashi's haroset was terrible. The horseradish, probably. Let's go down to Rashbam, his grandson. Ezra, you found your $1,000? I don't know. No, okay. It's not there. There is no word katpas. You're not going to find katpas in the Gemara. Where did this word come from?
Comes from the.
Let's see. It's not called katpas. It's called yerek. It's called hazeret, they call it. Let's see the Rashbam. Metabel b'hazeret. Dip on the, with the hazeret. Zeu lashon Gemara. This is the way the Gemara talks. It means eat. Same thing as Rashi. Hashamam shmetabel v'nayam. The fish kol ma'achalam ma'idei tibul. Everything they eat was dipping, and so it just means eat the vegetable. The hay tibul, this dipping, lav b'harosetu, is not in haroset. So he's arguing with Rashi. Rashi said kapas goes into the haroset. The Rashbam says no, don't dip the kapas into the haroset. I'm on the next line. That's number one, he says. Number two, it doesn't have to be a hazeret. It doesn't have to be romaine, the same thing as your maror. If you have no other veggie, it should be a different veggie than the maror veggie. If you have no other veggie, all I have is maror. Then mitabel b'hazeret, the Gemara is telling you, the Mishnah is telling you, use the same maror for karpas. If you only have one vegetable, use it twice. That's why it's telling us hazeret. But it really would prefer to find a different vegetable. So far, so good? Are we making sense? Rashi, take it and dip it in haroset. Rashbam, take it. By the way, don't take the romaine. Take a different vegetable and dip it in, not in the haroset. Okay, ready for Tosafot? Hebiu lefanav. We're on the second Tosafot. I highlighted it all for you. Hebiu lefanav, the second Tosafot. Pirush Rashbam, Yirakot. Wait, did I do this already?
Yes.
I did the next one. Mitabel b'hazeret. No, I didn't do it. Tosafot. I highlighted. No, I didn't do Tosafot. Pirush Rashbam. You see that Tosafot quotes the Rashbam. You see that? Mitabel b'hazeret. Tosafot quotes Rashbam. Upiresh Rashbam. Rashbam says the hay tibul la b'haroset. Rashbam says that this is not to be dipped in haroset. The ha'akati lo ba, because the haroset is not even on the table yet. Because they brought the veggie. They didn't even bring the whole plate. How do you have the haroset even? All they brought was the vegetable. Where did you even get the haroset from? We say at the end, then they bring everything to you. He says, I still don't agree with you, Rashbam. I don't agree with you. It's not a good proof. These are the words of the support I want you to look at. You have to dip it into the haroset, says Tosafot. Like Rashi. Tosafot says you gotta dip the hazir into haroset. Why? Mishum kappa. Because of kappa. Hold that thought for a second.
What's kappa?
Hold that thought. We'll talk about kappa in 1 second. Umiyu, however, hecha shehetibur rishon have b'shar yirakot. So the report says, if you're using other types of vegetables for the tibur rishon, we're going to call it karpas. If you choose not to use romaine, you want to use whatever, celery. For karpas, you don't have to dip it into haroset. So the report says, if you're going to use the same maror twice, one for the karpas, one for the maror, you have to dip it into haroset both times. If you're going to use a different vegetable, like celery, for example, for karpas, you don't have to dip it in haroset. Ela, rather, or behomes, or in vinegar, or b'mayim u'melach, or with salt water, like Rabbeinu Tam himself used to do. That's what we do.
But there's other liquids that you have to wash.
Hold on. Stand there 1 second. We're going to build it. So the Tosafot says, if you're using the maror for the karpas, number one halakha, everyone walks away saying, wow, I didn't know. If I really need to, I could use my maror for karpas. I don't think you knew that. Number two, Tosafot says, if you do so, you must dip it in the haroset. Rashi says you always have to dip it in the haroset. Okay, and the Rashbam says no haroset. Because Safot says if you're using a different veggie for karpas, which we do, you don't have to dip it into the haroset. Dip it into vinegar or water.
But you have to dip it, regardless of the fact it has to whatever you use, you have to dip.
It has to be dipped, and dip it in vinegar or maim in melah, water and salt. Let's finish the Safot. The ha'amar b'gemara, because it says in the Gemara, the haroset mishum kappa, because haroset's for kappa. Hold that thought. We'll do it in 1 second. Ve'leka kappa ele b'maror, and that only applies to maror. 1 second, will it make sense? V'chol sheken Rabbi Elazar ben Tzadok the kamar misvah zichel latit. Okay. What I want to do real quick is just to give you the information. Fast forward to your last page. I highlighted in yellow. Fast forward to the last page. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Sorry. Let's first finish the Mishnah and then fast forward. Finish the Mishnah. The Mishnah says, "Hebiu lefanav." They bring it before you. Now we know what they bring you: the veggies, the karpas. Metadeh b'chazeret ad shemegiya lepapel tapat. Dip the karpas before the maror comes. Hebiu lefanav. Then they bring you matzah, v'chazeret, v'haroset, which is matzah, maror, haroset. Ushne tafshilim, 2 cooked foods. Alpha, which do another week. Alpha pishen haroset mitzvah. Even though haroset's not really a mitzvah, the Mishnah says. You should bring the haroset even though you don't really need the haroset. It's not important. It's not a mitzvah. What does this mean? It's not a mitzvah. Anybody ever tell you this before? Haroset's not a mitzvah? The Seder night, I'm going to tell you haroset's not a mitzvah. Okay? We're going to explain this right now when we turn the page. Hold on, don't turn it yet. Rabbi Elazar ben Tzadok omed mitzvah. He says, no, you're wrong. It is a mitzvah. And in the Beit HaMikdash, they actually brought the Korban Pesach. We don't have that anymore. Haroset is a mitzvah or not a mitzvah? Let's turn the page. We should be on page 116b, yeah? Or 117b, where are we? 117b. It should be highlighted for you. Hold on. What page is it? 117a. Okay. Hold on. No, this is 116a. 116a. What's it? Here. Rabbi Elazar ben Tzadok omer mitzvah. He says haroset a mitzvah. You see where I highlighted? Let's talk about this. My mitzvah. What would be the mitzvah with haroset? 1 Kuftet Zayin Amud Aleph. Rabbi Levi omer zecher letapuach. We do haroset to remember the apples. What apples? I don't know if you were here Friday night when I spoke about this. Under the apple trees you were born. Remember I spoke about this in shul? We were all born in Egypt under the apple trees. You know this? In Egypt, there was a decree to kill all the boys. And so all the wives would go out to the trees. They would go out to the fields. The husbands slept in the field. They didn't go home at night. They went out to the fields with buckets of water. Hashem made, when they took the water, half the pail filled with little sardines, fish. They put it on the fire. They split it into 2. They had hot water. They had hot fish. They brought it to the husbands. They fed the husbands the fish. And then they used the hot water to bathe their husbands, and they bathed them. And then they found private places, and all the Jewish couples were together, sleeping together in the fields, hidden from each other by the fences. It's all Shira Shirim's talking about this. And then when they got pregnant, the ladies went back out to the fields and they went under the apple trees and gave birth. And then they were raised in the fields by malachim. I'm not sure exactly what the Gemara says. The Gemara says their kids were swallowed up by the ground. Whether it means literally they were swallowed up or it means they looked like they were swallowed up, whatever. Long story short, when these kids are 6, 7, 8 years old, they're all marching home. Who are these people coming from who are these people? That's what we're talking about. The kids born under the apple trees. This is a miracle. That's a very long story and very short. And so we want to remember these apple trees. So zecher letapuach, to remember the apples, we put apples in haroset to remember the apple trees. That's why it would be a mitzvah. Rabbi Yohanan omer zecher latit. No, it's remembering the cement that we had to build the bricks with, which is not a pretty thing. Amar Abaye says, Hilkach, therefore, sarich, I can't pronounce this. Adam, pronounce it. The kahuyeh. You have to make it tar, right? Is that what word does he use there?
Tar? Haroset should tart. Exactly.
Tart, beautiful. V'tarich l'simuchen, you have to make it thick. You have to make the haroset nice and fruity. A lot of the fruit and a lot thick. That she says, a lot of fruit, if you look at that sheet. Likahuye, you have to make it very tart and fruity. Zecher l'tapuach, so you taste the apples and remember them. V'tarich l'simuchen, it has to be very thick and not liquidy. Zecher l'titza, you also remember the cement. We want to remember both of those things, the good and the bad. Tanya kavita Rabbi Yohanan, we learned like Rabbi Yohanan. Tavlin, the spices that we put inside the haroset, zecher l'teben, reminds us the spices are hard. Like spices are cinnamon, they're hard. They remind us of the hay and the straw that we use, the hard straw and the hay to build the bricks. Haroset, zecher l'tit. Haroset reminds us of the cement. Amar Rabbi Elazar ben Sadok, kach hayu omrim. He says, when they used to sell haroset in Yerushalayim, all the old men used to sell haroset in their push carts, they used to scream out, Tagri halecha. The merchants would scream out, Yerushalayim, bo v'talu lachem tavlin mitzvah. Come get your tavlin for the mitzvah. Come get your tavlin. Tavlin is spices. Come get your spices because you're supposed to taste the spices to remind you of the hay. So haroset, it's a question of a mitzvah or not. There's another part. If you actually look up 3 lines, I'm not going to do it today. Yeah.
The question, original Mishnah you're reading, the question is not about Haroset, about Haroset.
Right, but they brought up the commentaries, brought up Haroset. And so I want. Right. 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 So we're going to answer. The Mishnah doesn't tell us any of these things. It's all up to the commentaries. So we're going to answer. First, I want to tell you what haroset is so we can understand Tosafot. And then I'm going to tell you what karpas is. We're going to build it like this. Let's go up 3 lines from where I highlighted. It's the 3rd line from the top. Alpha Pishian haroset mitzvah. He holds haroset not a mitzvah. What does he hold? V'ila mitzvah, ila mitzvah, mishum mai maitila. If it's not a mitzvah, why in the world are you eating it? Haroset. Amar bi'ami mishum kappa. Because of kappa, that's why we need it. What does it mean? It's a mahloket what kappa means. Kappa either means, according to the pshat, it means there's poison, there's strong, dangerous flavor in romaine, certain types of romaine that can hurt you, God forbid. And so to nullify the taste of the poison effect of the romaine of the hasa, we want to put the haroset. Neutralize it. Good word, Adam. Neutralizes the harmful effect of this. So the kappa is, some people say the kappa, Rashbam says kappa is a worm. I want to get to this gemara later, all about kappa, but I'll just give you a glimpse of what it's for. And so we have mahloket. Either it is a mitzvah haroset. What's the mitzvah? To remember the cement, to remember the apples, to remember the straw. And B, whether it's not a mitzvah, it's just there for health reasons. Good? Let's see one Tosafot, and then we'll go back. Stay on the page we're on. Tosafot says, Sarich l'samuche, v'sarich, did I highlight this Tosafot? Sarich l'samuche, sarich l'kahuye. You have to make the haroset very tart, and you have to make it very thick. So let's get the recipe. But Yerushalmi, in the Gemara, Yerushalmi says, Amad, eat the abdi, zecher ledam. Some people want to remember the blood that was spilled. You got that, doctor? Some people want to remember the dam, the blood. Well, mishum hachi, the blood of, I don't know, I didn't reach the Yerushalmi. I assume the blood of the boys. I assume.
Dam milah.
Oh, the makat dam, you're saying?
Or makat dam or dam milah.
I don't know. I don't want to say if I don't know. We have to look up this Yerushalmi, which I didn't yet. Okay, let's see. Which I'll get to in 1 second. When you eat it, you shake it in the wine and in the vinegar. In the Geonim, it says to make the haroset, try to use the fruits that we are compared to. In Shirashirim, the Shirashirim. Look at Shirashirim. It's whenever it mentions a fruit, it compares us to a fruit. Use those fruits in the haroset. So, for example, Tosafot says, that's tapuah, apples. That's a pomegranate. So we have figs. Betaman, that's dates. All these things, you should try to make the haroset out of one of these fruits. Egoz, el ginat egoz yarati, to the nut field. I went out to a bunch of nuts. Yeah, we have that, right? Last one, ushkedim, or almonds. Hashem sheshakat HaKadosh Baruch Hu ala kes, because Hashem is anticipating, just like we said by the staff of Aharon with the almonds on it. It means Hashem and also Yosef called Paro. Hashem is anticipating to do it really quick. Okay, so almonds means Hashem wants to do it very quick. So therefore, the Zohar says these ingredients should be used in the haroset. Okay. Now, so Safot mentioned the first line here. I read it quick because I wanted to continue and finish. He says you should use the dam. They make it look like blood. And that's why it would be called dipping it in a mashke. Because don't forget, we're washing our hands. Why are we washing kadesh urhas? We're washing because we're dipping something into a liquid. But it doesn't. It's not every liquid. If I dip something into apple juice, I don't have to wash my hands. And so you have to think about it. According to our haroset, if you're going to dip it into our haroset, is that a liquid that you have to wash your hands for? No.
It's liquid. Yeah, we use wine in there also.
That's the question is. So, because the Zafot says, put wine, right, but also has the effect of now you need a wash. If you didn't put the wine, if you just put all these ingredients, what are you washing your hands for? That's what the Zafot is saying.
Okay.
Right? So don't answer me, so let's not all wash our hands.
So we don't wash our hands for the haroset.
No, we wash it. I know, but remember, you could use haroset for the kalpas. And so, according to if you dip it into the salt water, you have to wash your hands with something dipped in water. Vinegar is like wine, right? Wine, you have to dip something. You have to wash some things in wine. But so Chaim Yitzchak Yosef says some people have the custom they want it to be sour. They're going to dip it into lemon juice. So it says Chaim Yitzchak Yosef. Sorry, not Chaim Yitzchak. Chaim Avadia, his father. Alav Shalom. Chaim Avadia says very nice, but lemon juice is not one of the liquids that you have to wash your hands for if you dip into it. And so it's fine. We won't wash our hands. He said, no, you have to wash your hands. It's part of Kadesh Hasad Pasika. We don't want to ruin the system. We want to make you use a liquid that makes you wash your hands. And so therefore he says, make sure it's 51% water. You have to dilute the lemon juice and put 51% water because we need you to wash your hands.
What's the custom? So salt water.
Our custom is salt water. I've seen people do vinegar, but we have these ingredients. These are the ingredients about haroset.
But if you hold, you can use katpas in the haroset. If you know you can hold katpas, you don't have to wash.
You do have to wash.
The one who holds that you can use katpas in.
I know, but that's
haroset that he should hold that you don't have to wash.
I know, but we want to wash. That's the thing.
I understand we want to.
That's why we want to.
So then, if you can say that,
right? That's why we want to add wine into it. That's the point. We want to add wine so it becomes something I have to wash for.
So on that side they add wine for it, yeah. But on our side,
for our reason, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
No. Unless you want to remember the blood.
Right.
Okay, so now that we know, Tosafot says what haroset is. Okay, let me read you the Ramah. The Ramah, Ashkenazim, huh?
Comes from the.
Let's see, hold on. First, let's see what haroset is. We're on haroset, so let's do this. The Ramah says, you ready? Therefore, the Ramah 473.5. 473.5. Okay. Says the Ramah, the haroset, Ramah she'israelis. You should make the haroset very thick. Zecher latit, to remember the cement, is Ashkenaz. Put little vinegar or red wine. Zecher ladam, so you remember the blood. Tosafot. Make the haroset out of the fruits that we're mashal to and shirashinim. Tosafot. Tapuhim, te'anim, egozim, limonim shekenim. Mamash tosafot. What? Excellent question. I have the same question as you. Now, it's not practical these days because we don't do it. His question is, I had the same question. If I just told you, Chachamim Ovadia said it has to be 51% liquid, it's not thick. How it's 51% liquid? I have the same question. I don't know the answer.
It's the thickness is in the liquid. That's what you're saying.
Oh, but because we don't
do what they did. Right, but according to that method. V'notnin alav tavlin, Rama says you put spices, kegon kinamon, cinnamon, v'zangibil. You know what zangibil is? Hadomim latebin, which looks like straw hay, shayum megablin boatit. That's the Rama. And the Rambam tells us what haroset is also. Rambam says, haroset
When
is...
they string, don't they?
It's interesting that
What's that stuff?
ingredients of chalos is in the gemara.
Yeah,
Like what? I mean, you would
It's a support.
discuss that.
yeah, amazing, huh? Into support.
Amazing.
But karpas is not in the Gemara. Tosafot says, haroset mitzvah midibrei sofrim. He says it's a mitzvah rabbinically. Zecher latit, to remember the cement. Shayu avdim bo b'mitzrayim. V'kesha dosinota. How do you make haroset? Lofhin temarim or gerugrot. Take dates or dried figs or timukin, raisins. Stuff like this, huh?
And it's ginger.
Ginger.
Not zangibil.
No?
That we had that last week with the Mishlach.
They just asked what's not go big.
Oh.
You just asked that question.
Ginger.
Oh, that was the same word. Oh, that was what we had in Mishlach Banot Gemara last week, no? Is that the same word, bro? Zangibil is ginger.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, very nice. And Rambam says, what do you put inside of it? Hummus, vinegar, or metablin, or tan betavlin, and you put spices, kemotit, betevin, like you're mixing cement with hay or straw. So the Rambam also says the same thing. Okay, that's haroset. Now, what's karpas? And why doesn't it call it karpas in the Gemara? Okay.
So there's certain types of. I mean, I imagine everybody does a chalos with those ingredients, but
Some use
there's
and some use the different ingredients.
right, but there's halachic required ingredients for chalos.
So Safot told us some of the stuff that goes in it.
Is it more they're saying what the custom is, or
The Gemara says you have to remember cement. And then the Gemara says we have to remember
and you're supposed to use the fruits of the land?
the apples.
That was weird.
So there's
yeah.
2 required ingredients from the Gemara. And the straw is the
You have
spices.
apples?
No, dates and
No,
walnuts.
Ours is dates and nuts, right?
Apple.
You have apples in yours?
Yeah.
Not the
And-
Ashkenaz.
We have
Eat one.
nuts.
We have, I don't know, there's no raisins in ours, right?
No raisins.
Raisins is Ashkenaz.
Dates and walnuts and wine.
Now let's see. I'm going to read you Rambam. Rambam Leil Seder. Here he goes.
Can you use the kapas into the kapas that we use? Can we dip it in the haroset? Over here, it seems like we're.
Rashi says you should. Rashbam says you should not. Rabbeinu Tam says you should not. Tosafot says you should not. Rabbeinu Tam says no, right? Because Rabbeinu Tam in his meal didn't. He used chometz or mayim melach. So we hold like that. Now I'm going to read you Rambam. Now that you know all these things that we just spent an hour doing, you'll pick up on the idiosyncrasies of the Rambam. Each word he says, how it's one of the opinions in the Gemara. Seder asiyat mitzvot elu b'leil hamisha asar kachu. This is how you do this seder. Betechila mozgin kos lechol echad ve'echad. It doesn't say mozgin lo kos. He says just pour the wines for every person. Umevarech bore pri hagefen first. Ve'omer alav kiddush hayom uzman. And then you say kiddush and shehiyanu like betilel v'shoteh and drink.
For the wine for everyone.
Yeah.
One person's
Mostly-
pour the wine for everyone. So
Does it say one person?
But there is something about you should have somebody else pour for you.
It's a nice thing for Chirut. That's the Rama.
That's nice.
It's in the Rama. We have to know what it is. Yeah. Ve'achakak after that, mevarech al natilat yadayim v'notel yadav.
No, we don't. do that.
Rambam says bless. Hold on, listen. Rambam says after that, say natilat yadayim
We don't.
and bless your. Hold on and wash your hands. Umevi'in shulchan aruch. He holds like you bring the whole shulchan.
The whole plate.
Not just the vegetable, the whole shulchan aruch. That's not a word we had in our Gemara. We had ki'ara and we had yerakot. We didn't have shulchan aruch. The whole thing, he says, bring the whole thing. Ve'alav, and on this shulchan, on this plate, is maror ve'yerek acher. Maror, any other vegetable. Notice he doesn't use the word karpas here. Rambam doesn't use the word karpas. Yerek acher, another vegetable. Umatzah v'haroset v'gufo shel kebes, the meat. Shel kebes Pesach, if there was a Pesach. Ubasar hagiga, if there was a korban hagiga. Ubezban hazeh, these days, mevi'in al shulchan shinei minei basar. Instead, we have two cooked meats. Ahad zecher lePesach. Two cooked meats, he says. Ve'ahad zecher lehagiga. I told you in the beginning. When you read this, when you learn this, it'll be like, whoa, a lot of things we do is not Rambam. Okay? Matchil mevarech boreh pri ha'adama. Now we're up to karpas. Say ha'adama. Velokeach yerek, take a vegetable. Which vegetable? Doesn't say. Umetabel oto b'haroset. And dip it in haroset. Rambam says. He holds haroset. Ve'ochel kazait. Make sure you eat a kazait. Oh!
What a kazait.
Amazing, huh? I mean, there's not enough time to do it. Let's continue next week. We're gonna read this Rambam, and then hold on. We're reading Rambam. We're gonna continue next week. Make sure you have a kazait. Rambam says. We announced the opposite. Hey, make sure you don't eat too much celery. I know you want more celery.
Later, that's what I said.
Okay.
You'll get kicked out.
Yeah, Rambam. Ve'ochel kazait. Eat a kazait of karpas. I don't know, not karpas. Of yerek, whatever the vegetable is. Hu v'chol misubin imo. Everyone has to eat. Kol ehad ve'ahad. Every single person. Enochel pachot mikazait. Don't eat less than a kazait. Make sure you have a kazait. He goes ahead. Make sure you have a kazait. After that, Okrina Shulchan, take it away. The Korea Haggadah levado, and then read the Haggadah. Okay, so
bring it back.
we're in the beginning of the Seder now. So Rambam, very different. Rambam Seder, very different than our Seder. We don't have much time left. Maybe one more thing. Let's do Shulchan Aruch.
When is the egg?
Next week.
The egg is coming.
Next week, 10
The egg
minutes.
is coming?
It's coming. It's coming.
10 minutes extra next week.
I told you this is gonna be interesting. Okay. What?
You eat the egg, no? You eat shankbone?
You want to hear this? You'll see. Okay.
Oh, really?
You ready for this?
You didn't learn it just
Like Rambam is saying. Rambam says two meats. You'll
You
see.
can eat it on the way.
Hold on. Shulchan Aruch. Mana Shulchan Aruch. You ready? Find the differences.
Okay.
מוזגים לו כוס ראשון, הוא מקדש עליו, הוא מברך שיחיינו.
So far, so good.
ואם חל בשבת, אומר ויחולו, אוקיי, אם חל מוצאי שבת, יקנז, אוקיי. שותה בהסיבה, drink the קידוש leaning, ואין הוא מברך אחריו, ודומה גל הגפן. So far, so good. אם נצא לשתות כמה כוסות, אוקיי, if you want to drink more, drink more. מביאים לפני בעל הבית קערה. Bring a ke'ara. He doesn't use Shulchan Aruch, he wears ke'ara. Same thing. Sheyesh ba shalosh matzot, maror, haroset, karpas, or yerek acher. Karpas, or a different vegetable. This is the first time you heard the word karpas tonight, besides for Ezra. Nobody said the word karpas. Maran Shulchan Aruch calls it karpas. What is this karpas? Or yerek acher, or a different vegetable. Now, do they use in Israel now karpas in the store for any? Is karpas? Karpas is celery in the store? Okay.
No. By the way,
We
use celery. No, I want to know.
celery.
My question was in common.
Also,
Oh, it's called
use envelopes also or no?
Hold on. Ushne tavshilin, bring two cooked foods.
Okay.
It doesn't say meat. Two cooked foods. Ehad zecher lePesach, ve'ehad zecher leHagiga, ve'nahagu bebasar ubebetzah.
We do that. Bitzah and the meat.
Yeah, that's what you said. Maran Shulchan Aruch.
You put meat on fire or put chicken earlier?
Shank bone and the egg.
We eat the shankbone.
So you Maran Shulchan Aruch, ve'nahagu bebasar ubetzah. So Rambam said two meats, and Maran says one meat, one egg.
But that's the first time we're hearing about
Listen.
No, I heard what he said.
Ve'nahagu
but
bebasar.
The two cooked is the egg and
The egg and the, yeah. Okay. The habasar nahagu shiye zeroa. The basar should be the zeroa,
Okay.
and it should be roasted.
Okay.
And the betzah should be mibushelet, cooked egg.
Right.
Okay. And then he says, notel yadav. He washes his hands. The tzorech tibul rishon for the first dip. V'lo yebarech al netilah. He argues in the Rambam. He says, no, don't bless on the netilah.
Okay.
V'yikach me'al karpas, take from the karpas. Pachot mikazait, only less than the kazait. I'm arguing with the Rambam. Umatpilo bechomes, dip it into vinegar. U'mbarech pore pri adama ve'ochel. Ve'el mevarech aharav. Don't make pore nefashot.
So Rambam, he holds that you say Netilat Yadayim because he's eating more than a kazayit.
Exactly.
So
No,
where-
not
Wait.
Where does Moran get this? I mean, way after.
Wash before the
Wait.
none of this is being Gemara.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean,
Why?
That's number one.
Gotta be basing on
No.
something.
Yeah. So he goes through
None
it.
of the Gemara.
It's not a Gemara. And so basically, what he's worried about is what we all know. If you have a Maran Shulchan Aruch, if you have a kazayit or a kabetza, do I have to bless Puran Fashot?
Mhm.
And I don't want to be in a safek. Do I have to bless? Do I not have to bless? And therefore, I want to make sure I have less than a kazayit. That's where Maran's coming from.
Okay.
We're running out of time.
Who's this?
This is Rambam.
Rambam. He holds that you say Netilat Yadayim
He holds you stand on time, which
because
we
of
have-
eating more
we
than
have
a
to find
kazayit?
out. We have to put this in next week.
Why would you say under the diamond you haven't eaten any?
We have to put this on next week. We're running out of time. Next week, we have to talk about more karpas and figure this out, but it's a good start. That's enough for today, yeah? Rabbi Hanuk Jamed. Torah v'yadin. Interesting?
Very.
Amen.
Amen.